Have everyone in terms of presenters, so let's get started. All right, so hi everyone. Yep, welcome again to the PWA Studio Community Sync and demo. Today we have some good content. We're a little bit we don't have much on technical demos, but there are a couple really good topics for us today. One, we'll go over the upcoming release, talk about the release notes with Mr. Kalkaban. And then the other major topic here is that Stephen has been really working hard to make sure that we repopulate the community board in terms of work items that if you're a community member that wants to contribute to the project and you've been looking for prioritized items that have some good detail on how you can help and where you can get started, Stephen's done a really good job trying to put some items together and make sure that we're tracking those, and he'll talk about the kind of new process going into 2021 of how we as a core team will work with community if you're willing to contribute. So a couple really good topics, and we'll get into those. After that, we'll kind of take open questions, open kind of items from the community. If there's anything you'd like to know about PWA Studio, what we're working on, and then we'll kind of wrap up and move on with our week. So first up, we're going to have Mr. Kalkaban to talk about release notes.
Cool. Thanks, Andrew. Let me share my screen. Does everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So first up, how do you get to the release notes? We want to go into the release 9.0 branch first, and then click on changelog, and that's where you'll find the upcoming release notes, or at least a preview of the upcoming release notes. So what do we do in 9.0? One of the big things that we've released in this is the improvements to the extensibility framework. One of the most exciting things is targetables is made available in this release. If you're not familiar with our extensibility framework, you can click on this topic here and get a good refresher or an overview of how everything works. Next up is, with the extensibility framework, we got extensions in this release. We have a new extensions directory, and it contains extensions that we use in Venia. They provide a lot of good features that we use, but they also provide good examples of what a PWA Studio extension looks like, and how it works with the targets and targetables. So give that a look if you're interested in creating extensions. Next feature is the internationalization and localization work that we did. This basically lets you provide translations for different locales. There's also a topic for that goes over how that works, and it's linked here. So take a look at that if you're interested in how that works, or if you're thinking of creating your own language pack. There is an example of a language pack extension in the extensions directory, if you're interested in what that looks like. This release also provides my count components. It's still ongoing, I believe, but these are the features from my account that are available in this release: wish list, save payments, address book, and order history. And finally, we've increased our test coverage in this release from the last one, which was 79% to 84%. And you can take a look at that on Coveralls. One thing though is we finally fixed our Coveralls badge there, and you can take a look at that in here. Pretty exciting stuff. It had been broken for a while, but now it's back up there. And then, of course, after that, we've got the list of pull requests in this release notes. There's about 100 of them. I forgot to count, but yeah, there's about 100 pull requests in this release. Some known issues: if you're using multi-source inventory or MSI, a GraphQL issue surfaces that prevents you from adding a configurable product to the shopping cart on non-default store views. Also, the pre-render feature isn't able to catch HTML on fastly enabled environments. And the last known issue we're listing is the yarn watch process. Can run out of memory if you leave it on for a long time, such as overnight, maybe like 6 to 12 hours is I think what's been reported. And of course the upgraded steps. They're not different from any previous releases. Are there any questions about the release notes? Take it. No questions. All right.
Great, the release notes are that great. But just a reminder, just jump in there that I think the timeline, and anybody can correct me if I'm misspeaking on our side, right? But I think the timeline is still, we're targeting the 9th. So that's the date if you're looking for that. Did you want to talk? Were you going to talk Coveralls badges too? By the way, sorry.
I thought I brought that up already, but yeah, our Coverall
Okay.
badges is you can see it in the repository. Oh, and I forgot to. There's one other thing I forgot to mention was our release support change. In previous releases, we used to do the current and previous versions. For 9.0, we're only doing this version, this upcoming version of Magento that's being released in our support matrix. Yeah, and that was it.
Any questions around release notes? All right, Stephen, you are up.
Sure. The release notes look great, by the way, James. I just want to call that out there.
Oh,
Really
thanks.
comprehensive, and that seemed like it'll be really easy to read through. So, okay, cool. Well, I just want to go over something real quick that I've been trying to tidy up, I guess, over the last few weeks. If you've ever jumped into the project and you were interested in contributing and you wanted to see where you could help, you might have gone to the Issues tab and tried to search for some issues, but let's just see what happens if you do this. There's a lot of stuff here, and it's not really clear. 120 pages of issues. That's a lot of stuff. Oh, well, I have it on all issues. Never mind. It's probably a lot less if it's just open issues. But anyways, one thing I've been trying to do is add this ready for dev label, sort of similar to the help wanted label, I guess, that we used to use. And I'm not really sure if we're going to continue using that, but I wanted to add this label to some tickets to indicate that we would like someone to help us with these issues. And over the, in the future, going forward, I'm going to be trying to maintain a decent list here of a few features and a few bugs, just hopefully fully detailed, or at least have enough information so that anyone can jump in and have some guidance on how to tackle the given issue. As you can see here, we've got 3 feature requests and a bug. I think I had groomed like 3 bugs, and 2 of them have already got knocked out by contributors, which is awesome. So it's a little bit light right now, but I plan to add a few more there. And of course, if you have an issue that you think is, or like a feature or a bug that you think is really urgent or important, bring it up to us in Slack. Ping one of the team members, or Andrew or Eric, and we can try and prioritize it accordingly. But if you're just looking for something to pick up and you're hoping to find something that's really ready to work on, sort open issues with the label of ready for dev, and that should give you a good idea of what to do. So just real quickly, I can go over this one. I mean, actually, they're all pretty explanatory, and I've added information to each one, hoping that the guidance there is sufficient for y'all to get going. So if there's a gap there, please let me know, and I'll try to make sure I add more detail to those tickets. Just to show you another thing, this is just what I've been doing to get that view filled out. I go to these open issues and I'm looking through these tickets with the ready for grooming label that is now what gets added by our system. We have some bots that sort of sync things up for us. And so if I see the ready for grooming label, I'm going to go ahead and try and tackle this. And I'm trying to go in reverse order. So probably going to hit the older ones first, just because they deserve to be addressed. A lot of stuff you probably know falls through the cracks. We're pretty thin at times. So apologies ahead of time if something that you opened is not addressed. But know that we're trying to get to them all. So yeah, as you can see, I've got some. Then one thing I wanted to add: if you open an issue and you see the requires follow-up label, that's something I'm trying to do now to indicate to myself and to you, the community. If you've opened an issue, someone will try and look at it and determine if it's a valid issue, if there's anything else we need, and if there is something that we need from you, I'll add the label requires follow-up so that we sort of know we're waiting to hear back from someone about this issue. Just that way, if I'm looking at this at a high level, I can just see which tickets I've touched on and which I haven't yet. So as you can see, there's a few with this label already. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. I look forward to some contributions from y'all. Appreciate it.
Even the only thing I would also add here is, as much as possible, we love all contribution from the community, but I would say as much as possible, please try to make sure that you're working with us, that you're contacting Steve and you're contacting myself before you actually start writing code for a contribution, because it can save you a lot of headache and it can save us a lot of overhead, especially because there are times when things are contributed that maybe a team member internally is already working on that just isn't visible on the external board. And so it really helps us to be able to make sure that we have visibility on the work as it's coming into the pipeline, and that way we can also make sure that we're processing it faster, or that we give the go ahead, and Stephen will be there to work with you as a community member to actually move the item into progress and then to finish it up and get it actually into the code base, right? So Stephen is your point of contact. I'm your point of contact as community members if you want to contribute. And then also if you have questions about, I think there are some questions in the PWA community chat this morning on what we're working on, or if there are tickets to track certain issues, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know, and we'll make sure all of the work we're doing, we're trying to be as transparent as possible. Any questions here for Stephen or myself or anyone on the team around this new community ready for dev process?
It was perfect.
Lars saying he had to go. All right. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Great. So I guess we'll just do kind of open forum here. If anyone has any topics they want to bring up, any questions that they have about PWA Studio, what we're doing, where we're heading, anything community related, this is the time for that. Take a quick pause.
Yeah, I would say no questions, just comments. I think, really good work, Andrew, Stephen, and team on shoring up the backlog here for the community. I think that continues to give us a really, really strong, transparent connection with the community. And, 9.0 looks really, really strong. So also +1 to Calcaben on the release notes there. So all good stuff. And so we continue to get really good feedback from others in the community who aren't always here for that one. So definitely appreciated.
Thanks, Eric. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll wrap things up here. Hey, we'll see you guys everyone next week. We'll have some demos coming up too. We'll also talk a little bit more about roadmap and some roadmap updates going into 2021. If you're curious about where we're headed, right? So we'll do that on an upcoming call as well. So thanks everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Great rest of your week.
Can subscribe. Oh.